broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yo, we didn't start the fire! It's AfterBuzz TV, it's the Flash After Show!
Yes!
I like this appropriate song, guys.
Yeah.
It's The Flash in Two Worlds, Season 2, Episode 2. A lot of twos. We're so glad to see you, too.
Hey!
All right.
You too.
You too.
The gang's all back together. Let's do some quick intros and we'll get into it. Tauri.
Hi, I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me on Twitter at TauriJ. It's TauriJay.
Okay, wow. Yeah,
How many Y's was that?
About 11.
I'm Michael Andrew. You can find me on Twitter at Michael_Drew, Michael EAL.
And I'm Roxy Striar. You guys can find me at Roxy Striar.
Cool. I'm Jeffrey Masters. I tweet from Jeff Masters 1.
Yes.
Yes. What did you guys think of the episode?
I liked it. No, I really enjoyed it. I liked how I think I said when we were watching it, how I liked how in the beginning of the episode, they go in right for it. Like the moment the show starts, like, hey, listen, I'm from the other world, and he just explains everything.
I like too that episode 1 last week cut, and it felt like episode 2 just picked up right there.
Yeah.
Right where we left off.
Yeah.
I always find it interesting that when I watch this show at the studio afterwards, there's a bunch of hosts that walk by that are like, how was it this week? How was it this week? And every single week I'm like, it was so good.
That's true. That does happen.
I feel like I get repetitive, but it was so good. It just was so good. Again, they kill it.
No, I agree. It was really awesome. And I felt like this could have been like a two-parter in that like this part set to do all the like setting up that usually you'll get in the premiere where it's like, here's our goal and our ultimate theme for the whole season. And here's our big boss that we have to take down. Here's all the information. Start your journey, guys. And I felt like this one was really good at setting that up.
I totally get what you mean. It felt like a premiere episode. Jay Garrick kicks off the first scene, and there's so much like exposition, just like what you said, setting up what we're gonna expect for season 2, like on the whole, not just the episode.
Yeah.
What did he tell us? He told us that like he came, Professor Zoom stole his powers. We learned that like I wasn't expecting.
Well, did he?
No,
did he
he
steal
lost
stuff?
it
Yeah,
when
he
he
lost
came
it.
over.
Stole. Okay, sorry. I said stole. Lost them.
Yeah.
Right.
Is he gonna find them? I'm kidding. So Zoom TBB has something to do with it.
There it is.
And he also said that there's more to follow. So we found out like a little bit later that there's the portal is closed on the whole, but there's little breaches.
Right.
There's how many of them, guys?
52.
You had the nerdiest moment.
Yeah, there was a pretty good. Like we looked at each other like, huh? 52.
Yeah.
So I know
So
like the
inside.
new 52. 52 is a recurring number, as we've said before. Do we know why it's 52 though?
Did it have to do with the titles initially? I mean, are we talking about for the comic books or?
The comic books.
Well, I know when they did it. It was regarding the comic books was 52, and it was 52 Earths, right? Was it 52 Earths?
I thought it. And this
Oh
is
yeah, sorry, we're about to
This
get
is
really nerdy now. Sorry, guys.
I was under the impression it was because they were consolidating it into like the very few 52.
Yeah.
Because like before there were like hundreds of versions and like hundreds of heroes, but then they just kind of like cut it down and they're like, these are the 52 people that you care about now.
Yeah. Okay.
I sense a bromance coming on, or a big fight.
I've always been romancing him for the past.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. How'd that come out? I've been romancing you for a while now.
Anyway, Jeff.
Now you guys now you're just gonna see it. You're just gonna see it live. All right.
Okay, so we're talking about the other Earths, Earth 2, also Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Infinite. Did I say
Infinite
right?
Earth.
Even
Yeah,
the moment
impossible.
when they named the Earths and they're just like Earth 1, Earth 2. Even then we still had a little like
Yeah.
Earth 2.
Earth 2.
And also, it's interesting that Barry Allen is not the Flash on Earth 2, as far as we know.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So we've got Jay
An
Garrick,
electrician.
who's
He's an electrician.
he could be. We've got Jay Garrick, who's a Flash over there. We are probably under the assumption that Wally West is a Flash on a version of the Earth, one of the Earths, or maybe on one of these two Earths, and there's multiple Flashes at one time.
Good point.
There are all different things, but I thought it was really cool that for the viewers, they made a visual presentation of this. They used their Scooby Gang as an audience, but really they were catering to us as an audience to talk about E1, E2. Although we've been doing research over the summer, some fans who aren't like looking up, they've got Earth 1, Earth 2, or some fans who aren't big comic book fans, I think it would have been a little confusing, but they made it as simple as they possibly can. I thought this show did a great job explaining it.
I thought they did it perfectly. I feel like this show does such a good job of showcasing the history to it without, like, even if you don't read comic books, it's just the perfect jumping on point for everything. And I loved how Joe pretty much represented like all of us.
Yeah.
His reaction was like, I still don't get this, guys.
Yeah.
I
I might
still
as
don't
well have been
understand.
staring into the camera going, this is this audience.
I know.
You know.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
And then during this process where we're like gaining his trust and testing him to see if Jay Garrick has the Speed Force, Roxy, do you want to talk about our next topic, about anything that happened in like the room with like Caitlyn? Any predictions?
Okay. This is interesting. The second the two of them got on screen together, and who knows, maybe the actors just had some chemistry in there, but Caitlyn was having a little moment over him. She's given him the pat down, which probably is unnecessary. She's staring at him really hard. I think that it might be a little soon, but I could like the connection here. What are you guys thinking?
No, I thought it was soon too, but the moment it happened, I think we all looked at each other like, oh, all right, there you go.
It's happening.
Like,
Seems that way.
Yeah, what do you think, Tauri?
Oh, I was gonna say it's been 6 whole months, and she's and also
You're
not
worried about her. Get over it.
Yeah, it's not her first time dealing with losing Ronnie, so she's probably been like, okay, I've done this. I know how it feels. I can.
Okay,
move
that's a
on.
great point.
6 months is kind of short though. I mean, after your husband dies.
Okay, speaking of husband dies, here's the thing. Right now, we don't actually know what's going on with Ronnie. And a lot of our YouTube commenters and iTunes commenters in the past couple weeks, and people reaching out to us on Twitter, were saying that Ronnie, if he was dead, then Martin Stein would probably be dead as well, because they have that connection.
Right.
And also, we couldn't see him actually die. They don't trust it. And Robbie Amell posted on Instagram saying, you'll be seeing more of me, or this isn't the last of me that you've seen, something like that. So people are thinking he might be out there. Maybe he got sucked into a different Earth. Maybe he's overstuck on Earth too. We don't know.
Okay.
The last thing I would want to see happen is that Caitlyn moves on really quick and Ronnie comes back and is like, well, it's only been a couple months. I've been gone for 6 months.
The thing is, though, I never want to like take what, like, he posted, I'll be back, like Ronnie will be back on Instagram, right?
You Arnold Schwarzenegger that.
Thank you very much. I never want to take that like for like that much credit, because it could just be a flashback.
That's true.
For all we know.
Right.
That's very true.
That being said, we were going to talk about it later, but let's say it now. Professor Stein drops down to the ground at the very end of the episode. Do we think that has something to do with the connection between them? Like, what do we think?
Well, something could be happening to Robbie on
That's
Earth
what
too.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking that at all until you just said that right now. No, I just thought he had a stroke, but like, yeah, that could it could have something to do with Ronnie.
Just
'Cause
randomly.
he's old. I mean, he's old. He's getting stressed. They're talking about all this scientific stuff. He's getting excited. He's like, oh my god,
He's
his heart
like
explodes.
60. That's not that old.
Yeah,
enough.
but they do allude to it earlier in the episode. He says, cool down. What does he call him? Like Good Will Hunting or something, when he's sitting
Beautiful
there.
Mind.
Beautiful
Beautiful
mind.
Mind,
Thank you,
yeah.
beautiful mind. Like, chill out. He's working his butt off. So no, he's not that old, but he's not sleeping. He's using his brain. But I think it probably has something to do with Robbie.
You
I
know,
could agree.
What you just said. So, Ronnie, what if Ronnie got put on another world, and while in another world, this whole time he falls in love with that world's Caitlyn?
Whew.
And then that Caitlyn.
And that Caitlyn is Killer Frost? Oh, God. Oh, my God. We're writing the show right now.
Oh, wow.
It could really happen.
Oh wow! Is there going back to the Caitlyn and the Caitlyn Jay Garrick prediction?
Yeah.
Is there any like basis or facts for that in the canon that support that relationship, or would that be new for the show and the character?
That's new.
Wait.
Have Jay Garrick and Killer Frost been together in any of the comics?
Oh, no,
I
they
think.
Caitlyn
never
Snow.
met, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Okay, just curious.
I mean, Caitlyn Snow isn't even in the. I mean, in the comic book, she's not in the she's in the Firestorm side, so she's not really on the Flash. She's not really a Flash character.
I just think that it was a really, really strange moment, the way she tried to connect him tonight. She was like, just because it's a different world doesn't mean it's a worse world. You think your husband died like 6 months ago. She was like, it gets better and better every single day. It's an interesting message, but
would you say after you said, no, it doesn't, no, when your husband dies?
Like I'm not saying that it can't be okay, because it absolutely can, but her being like, it's a better world, it was the phrasing was kind of strange to me.
She's positive, Roxy.
I guess so. I love her. I think she's one of the greatest characters, so I'm on her team. But you're
And
right.
I think
She's
one of the
positive.
reasons why we love her is because she's like an offbeat character. Like the way she thinks, like, doesn't make sense, or wouldn't be my like first go-to, which is what I appreciate about her.
Ooh, and in the chat, Kartik Seraph says, coolest fan theory of Killer Frost I've ever heard. I think that's
nice.
to you.
I'm joining this. Thank you. I'm part of the squad now. That's my
It's your christening.
That's my christening.
If you guys were wondering what I was just talking about when I said the chat, I'm referring to the YouTube chat that we go in live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Pacific time. And you guys can come and join the conversation live if you want to chat with us.
Totally. I have to say, we were talking about Victor Garber, Professor Stein working with Cisco and like their chalkboard analyses. I think it's so cool, the dynamic of the Scooby Gang team right now, because there's no leader, and so they're all like equals.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that too.
They kind of knocked Barry down for a second.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. He needed it. They were like, listen, we are trusting him, so get on board.
Yeah. Right. And because they're all equals too, they like so far they've been like listening to each other, and like they're very respectful. Everyone has something great to offer. Yeah. And it's cool to see that. But like you said, this is a very different Barry than season 1. I think we called him Emo Barry last time.
Yes. Call him Emo Barry. I like this new Barry because it makes sense. Like, it's understandable. The last person he trusts murdered his mom. You know what I mean? It's completely understandable that he's so skeptical about Jay, and Jay's completely talking like Harrison Wells.
That's true, but let's really look at what he did. He murdered his mom, but then what did he do in the end? Not that this makes it better, and but the last thing he did was he helped to get his dad out of prison.
Right.
You know, so I think he probably right now is having a lot of mixed emotions on him.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hate him. I really do. This is probably what Barry's thinking, that he wants to hate him. He really does. But then there kind of was this silver lining. Not that the dad wouldn't have gone to jail in the first place if the mom hadn't been killed, but he did do this nice thing. It's weird when somebody you hate so much does something that affects your life positively.
Though it still was a little vindictive. It was like, I'm going to do this for you, but you're never going to be happy, so it doesn't matter.
Good point, Tauri.
Yeah. And yes, Harrison Wells, he trusted and betrayed his trust. He turned evil, or was evil the whole time. And yet, we had Cisco, we had Caitlin, we had 1,000 other characters that he trusted, and they all came through for him. It's like, why let that one bad egg like ruin it for him?
I think that's what Iris pretty much says.
But I think for someone whose father isn't in the picture, you're always. I think it happens with a lot of young men where their father's not in the picture. They're always looking for that mentor. So I know he has Joe, but this other person was another mentor to him, and he's always aspiring. You always aspire for that. So I think that one just affected him more because they're his peers. Like the other, like Cisco and them, they're the same age. They're his peers. But Harrison Wells, it's almost a father figure, and and every young man wants his father to be there for him. You know, his dad.
Yeah, I think that's a great point.
And do you think that he's looking to Jay like that because Jay does have a couple of years on him?
I think it's probably what's gonna happen. I see it happening.
You don't have to build to it, though, I think.
Yeah.
And like Jay has the experience of having experienced these powers like for himself firsthand. It's not just like try this and that didn't work, like trial and error.
Yeah. I love the way they made Jay. Like, he's like, hey, good job, kid. All right, kiddo. All right, that's how you go. Okay. With his nice helmet.
Yeah. Like an old high school football coach.
Yeah, exactly. Just like an old high school football coach.
He said it was from the War of Americas. Is that something in comics? I've never heard of that before.
No, it's just, I guess that's what happened on the other
On
Earth.
that other Earth, yeah.
I think the reason that was funny is because it's a whole different place with a whole different war.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. The War of the Americas come again?
Yeah.
These
excuse
are
me?
big differences.
Yeah, huge. People in the chat are talking about, because I know we just mentioned Wells, they don't like that they're calling Wells. They want to call him Thawne. Because now we're about to be reintroduced to Wells, and it wasn't Wells, it was really Thawne. So.
Oh, because the Wells we're meeting is actually Wells.
Right.
Okay.
And the Wells that we knew was actually Thawne.
Right.
You mean the character? They don't like the fact that characters still call him Wells?
I think that's what they're saying. When they said they, I think they is probably us and also the characters.
Right.
Well, I think they're just as long as they've known him, they know him to be Wells. So even though he showed up to be Thawne at the end, they're still gonna call him Wells. I mean, if like for like 4 years you knew the guy for 3, and you knew him as Wells, you're gonna consider him Wells.
It's just gonna get so confusing when we go to Earth 2 and Wells seems like a pretty good guy. Maybe he's not.
Yeah, just come up with a new nickname like Wells
I don't know.
Prime.
That didn't bother me at all. Just because, like you said, like they know him as Wells. Like the Thawne doesn't mean anything to them. Actually,
I don't think the Thawne name is gonna make an appearance anytime soon. You know, I don't think we're gonna hear it again. So I think Wells is they're just gonna stick with calling him Wells, and that's it.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll actually probably have this very discussion on the show.
Probably.
When he comes in, they're gonna be like, "Well, what do we call?"
Brought up by
him?
Cisco,
If
and
it's
Cisco
word
won't be
for
the name
word,
master.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Cisco was so funny this episode.
Yes.
God.
He is just the leading man for being my favorite character right now. Like he's the front horse. Although I love so many of these characters, every time he's on screen, you know, you love somebody so much when you can just breathe, because it's like, I am not worried about anything. I think that he's just gonna knock it out of the park. I believe in him. He's so funny. I'm like, okay, he'll work this out.
It's like that actor who comes on stage and you're like, oh, I'm so excited to see like him act. Like same thing.
Yeah, I think that he has done such an amazing job, and the transition to Vibe, I trust him with it.
Yeah.
I trust him. So I'm a little worried, based on what we saw in tonight's episode, that he doesn't want the Scooby Gang to know. Secrets are no fun. They hurt someone.
I was surprised that of all people, he's the one that would not want to express his new powers. Of all, you know, I mean, I get it because he doesn't trust no one trusts what Harrison Wells did to them. Like, Harrison Wells scarred everybody, clearly.
But he killed Cisco.
He did.
That's true.
He did kill Cisco.
It's next level stuff right there.
Yeah, he killed
I
Cisco.
was impressed by his ability to control them more too this episode. You know, he accessed it when he wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, did you find that to be controlling? I felt like he was overpowered by them.
No, I think that I thought it was interesting that he like went to go get a vision, and he like touched it and he got what he wanted.
Yeah. I mean, he's slowly harnessing it. I mean, because, before it was all involuntary, just kind of like it would happen. And now he's able to kind of focus in. And I assume that's going to play into it a little bit more. I mean, it seems to be very related to any time he comes in contact with something from another dimension.
Yeah.
So I think that as he discovers this, maybe he'll have like a watch that's like other dimensional. Interdimensional.
Oh, okay.
So that it's like, accessible when he needs it.
Right.
No, that makes sense.
Interesting.
The reason I was so surprised that he didn't want people to know is, if you guys think about season 1 Cisco, he kind of threw Barry Allen under the bus a lot, as Caitlin was trying to make sure Barry was safe, and Cisco was like, screw safety, let's push these boundaries, let's figure it out, like for the power of science, you know? So I feel like he's somebody who is willing to take all of these risks, but now when it comes to himself, he's scared. He's afraid of these powers. He's afraid of these visions. Nobody wants to have day nightmares.
Yeah.
Daymares?
Yeah.
Daymare. Fight through the... Anyway.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know that reference at all.
It was always sunny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Girl, I got you.
Okay, I have a question. While we were watching, you mentioned how this is similar to Arrow and how all the characters there are starting to become like superheroes. But you said that they didn't like it. Is that correct? On Arrow, people had problems with it.
I'll let you go ahead.
Well, the people, as in the audience,
Yeah.
didn't like the problem with Arrow was that Oliver Queen had been training for years and years on an island to be able to fight people, and all of a sudden he comes back and his team slowly starts to be able to fight people also, but it would be like 1 month and they were as good as he was.
Right.
Oh,
like
I see.
Laurel and then even his sister and Speedy, all of them were just like, oh yeah, me too now.
I can fight too.
Yeah, so everybody started to be able to help out. I think on this show it will be different because people have, everybody always knew that Cisco was going to turn Vibe, Caitlin will turn Killer.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be okay.
And it was also more surprises with the characters.
It was a little more left fieldish. I mean, this one, like taking Cisco as an example, they're letting this build really slowly. Whereas like in previous seasons of Arrow, essentially a few episodes would pass and someone would be on the same level as your main character.
Oh, that sounds silly.
I mean,
Yeah, it was a little silly.
it was, but I will say that like it was, in a way, it was needed, because this character needed to learn how to rely on people, but you didn't want him to spend his whole time protecting his team. So you needed them to come up to where he was in order for it to actually be, one, a formidable match, and two, for you as an audience member to also not spend the whole episode worrying about his teammates.
And for them to fight bigger
I see.
villains. It's like why we want a Justice League movie, because we want a villain so big that it's not just Superman that can take him out. So we have bigger villains, a bigger team.
So Speedy was trained by her dad.
For months, to be
fair.
fair. For months, as opposed to for years on an island. But she had a more legitimate training than Laurel did.
That's true. Yeah, Laurel had a few months with a boxer, and now she's like flipping on stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we don't need to get into the specifics.
No.
Yeah.
I was just curious though, so thank you.
an
And
Arrow
then what
after
was
show
the
now.
they showed Oliver Queen on TV at one point in this episode. What was that referencing? That Easter egg.
Well, for those who aren't caught up, things happened in the last episode, but essentially, Arrow is now Green Arrow.
Okay.
It's official.
The reason I thought that it was super cool that we saw Oliver Queen in this episode is that we saw Barry on Arrow this week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, Barry went over to Arrow, and there was an interesting moment about Zoom, which we can talk about when we talk about Zoom.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
So
great.
stay
I
tuned.
don't watch Arrow. I'm sorry.
All right, well,
It's
let's
okay.
just slide into the Sand Demon, or as I want to call him for some reason, the Sandman.
Oh,
Eddie Slick. He was brought by Zoom to kill Barry. Do we think that that's going to be Zoom's MO, just like every week, sending off like one more like Sand Demon, one more villain?
I think it'll be like that for a couple of episodes, and I don't think that's that bad of a. I think that's kind of cool.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. A reason for a big bad every week.
Yeah, and a lot of times because they're coming from another world, they can use like characters that you want to see from the comic book
Yes.
on the show, but completely different versions of them.
Because now we have a reason for there to be villains that have to do with the explosion and
Yeah.
particle
Yes.
accelerator. That's good.
Yeah, it reminded me tonight though, because we're going to have Sand Demon and all these people coming by. Is our pipeline empty currently?
Yes.
Because of the breakout from last year. So when Jay was in there, he was the only one. Sand Demon's not in there because we just killed him by turning him to glass. So we have an open vessel of a pipeline right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of vacancies.
Yes.
But now I don't understand why they even need to send people to the pipeline, because apparently we find out tonight Iron Heights can hold people like Sand Demon.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that as well.
I mean, I don't know if they're still going to be using it moving forward. I mean, because we had talked at length last season about how inhumane it was.
Yeah.
And now that it's kind of like out in the open that metahumans exist, they don't really need to keep them in the pipeline.
But if there's a breach, especially in Star Labs, could it be in the pipeline? They're going to throw people in the pipeline. The people in the pipeline are just hopping Earths.
It's true. That would be awesome.
Or people are, all of a sudden they have people in the pipeline. And it's like, how'd you get here?
Because eventually we're going to have to visit Earth too. Like someone's going to go there.
Yes.
Like we got a glimpse tonight, but one of our main characters.
We're sending our camera crew to Earth too?
Yes. We're actually going to shoot from there next week, so stay tuned.
Sweet.
This was also the first time we saw Zoom in person, right? We got to see his black suit.
Yes.
I didn't expect it to be black.
Oh, really?
And like, isn't it? What color? Isn't
I mean,
it like
it's
blue
usually
or?
no. It's kind of it's yellow with dark fades to black.
Oh, okay.
So it's mostly black with like yellow highlights.
Yeah. Yellow, dark yellow.
So much like our AfterBuzz mics.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much.
Interesting question in the chat. How are there metahumans on Earth 2 if there is no accident there? We heard a little bit about tonight how Jay Garrick got his powers.
Right.
That's very
So
true.
I think that probably more instances as such.
Wait, sorry. Remind me, what did Jay say?
Something about water. He was doing something with water, and
Oh,
then
he was taking a
woke up.
shower.
Yeah, he was taking a shower while
He was in his
holding
lab
toaster.
experimenting?
Yeah, he was in his lab experimenting, and if I don't remember his exact words, but it was something to the effect of, testing the density of heavy water when a bunch of chemicals, something or other, at stuff. Those were his words.
That's how he said it too.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That was my Jay Garrick impression.
So far, the people we've met from Earth 2 and Earth 1, they all seem to be like, if they're evil one place, they're evil there. If they're good one place, they're good here.
Well, if it's the same person, I don't think that's necessarily true. Like Sand Demon.
Sand demon.
Sandy man.
Sand Demon.
Sandy man.
Sand Demon here, Sand Demon from Earth 2 was a metahuman, and Eddie Slick from Earth 1 was a bad dude who had gone to jail but wasn't a metahuman. Now we just got a glimpse of Harrison Wells. He seemed like a good guy on Earth 2.
And he was good. Harrison Wells was good on Earth 1.
Yes.
Ebert Thawne was not. I guess I was thinking that
Nature
Jay Garrick
versus
was
nurture.
also good, but we don't actually know Jay Garrick from Earth 1. There could not be one, for all we know.
That's true.
Right.
I mean, or it could be an electrician.
An electrician. He could be.
I thought you were going to say
Everyone's-
electricity.
He's electricity.
Oh, like we think that
You can find me in the raindrops. Sorry.
Jay Garrick could be walking down the street and he could meet Jay Garrick, Earth 1 Jay Garrick,
Yeah.
and it could be his gardener.
That'd be neat.
Yeah.
That's a whole
Neato.
lot.
Plants. I thought it was interesting that like he was able to teach Barry like to throw lightning.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, that was
something
interesting,
new that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, that was new for me too.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I've seen the Flash do like he'll use his force to do like air bullets. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I haven't seen him like use kinetic energy to make lightning. I think that's amazing.
Okay.
I agree. I think that last season we got all different layers from him. So first it was that he could go up buildings. Then it was that he could travel back in time. Then he could make he could
yeah.
disappear his face. All these things.
And his favorite move, like the spinning arms to create wind.
Yeah.
The spinning
It's a
tilt-a-whirl.
signature look.
I do that at the gym all the time. Who am I kidding? And by a gym, I mean my bedroom.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No. I just I love finding out that he can still learn things, do more things. We think that he knows everything now because we've been with him for a year, but he doesn't. He's got a lot to learn. He's got more powers ahead of him.
Yeah.
And it's cool these things that he can keep like bringing back through other episodes too to fight. I'm excited for that. Although, tell me if you agree or not. I thought that Jay Garrick's lines and delivery were a bit corny, to be honest.
I think that's what he was going for.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, in the beginning, I hear you, but by the end, I was like, okay, he was going for that. But I thought this whole episode, they had little corny moments where, like, you know, when they kept saying like the titles of the show, like, oh, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill the Flash of two worlds, or you know, or Cisco's like, man, I'm getting a crazy vibe.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they always drop those
Yeah,
lines.
like those things didn't bother me though, like the vibe line and all, just because I don't know, like it's a comic book and like it makes it fun and
it's
there's such like a
CW.
sense of humor. It seems, yeah, but like when Jay Garrick says, I'm like, I'm like, okay, buddy.
Well, I feel like he brings in, because like, you know, Jay Garrick is a character made in the 50s, and I feel like he brings in that whole like, hi ho,
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
like what do you want to call
Like
it?
the gravitas.
Like gravitas, but also like
Golden
a very,
age. Very golden
the
age.
golden age, like very campy, very.
Oh,
like,
I am a superhero.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get from
like
him.
when he's saying the word, like when he's like, hey kid, you know, he's like, hey kiddo, eat your spinach, huh?
Yeah.
You do what you got to do.
Oh, that's yeah.
That's how he
Yeah.
is. That's how his character is.
That makes sense. I just don't know if I like it.
I know what you're saying. The fact that he came from Earth 2 made it acceptable for me. It wasn't as frustrating because he is from a different world and he's allowed to be like that hi-ho
Okay.
kind of thing. But sometimes when he was talking, I was just like, I don't believe you. like I understand why Barry's a little hesitant.
Yeah,
So, like,
right.
are you full of crap? Let me poke holes in this. But I just think that's who he is. And I think that I could really grow to love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see more of him, which means that he did a good job.
Yeah, and like while like that bothered me, it didn't bother me when they like finally trusted him and he was like, okay, gather around, I'll tell you about Eddie Slick, who is the Sand Demon. These are his weaknesses, these are his strengths, and these are your opportunities to defeat him.
He was well
Any
organized.
questions? Yeah, I was like, okay, Jay Garrick, I got you.
Yeah.
He can help us with a lot of the different people that Zoom is going to throw our way.
Yeah, he's a little like encyclopedia.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's so knowledgeable of the other world. So every time we get someone, we're already gonna have someone to explain it to us. You know, it's gonna be done very well. I like that.
Well, he might not know everybody, and Wally might be able to help us. Your Flash, sorry.
Yes.
Let me call him.
Watch yourself. No, it's good. I think Flash is gonna. I think Waller's gonna come from.
Earth 3.
No, but he could come from another Earth.
If he's
but
the
I think he's just
Flash
gonna come from our
also.
Earth.
Earth
Oh,
1.
really?
I
Like
think
our
come from
Earth
our-
from
yeah.
the future.
I think it's just a distant cousin from like Iris. I think that's the direction they're gonna go.
Yeah.
Oh my god, combining different Earths and time travel. Like, there are endless possibilities.
Yeah.
And kudos to them for not getting us so confused, because they have time travel and multiple Earths.
Yeah.
Those are two separate things.
Yeah. You usually
and-
don't mix them.
Yeah, and I'm not confused yet.
Yeah.
That must be hard as the writer, because you, like, literally just, there's not, like, a box to write in.
Yeah.
There's, like, the box is blown away.
Yeah.
Right.
God. Okay, so other character we met, Patty Spivot.
I love Patty Spivot.
Guys, I think she's so endearing.
She was so good. I love Patty Spivot. She was a cutie too, but I love Patty Spivot.
She's so cute. And she comes from One Tree Hill, which I loved. I was really excited to see. She's on a million other things, but I was an avid watcher of that show. She is absolutely adorable. I think she's got a great range as an actress. She kind of surprised me in this. I thought she was going to play it a totally different way. She was so endearing and nerdy and kind of perfect for Barry right now.
And I loved her chemistry with him at the interrogation.
That little moment they had.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna quote it, but I mean,
When they geeked out.
Let's do it together. Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not doing it. But I mean, I feel you. I hear you.
Are you breaking up the bromance?
Yeah,
No, I mean,
seriously.
in our minds. So yeah, but
At least buy him dinner first.
Yeah, seriously. Wait, me.
I agree though. She's so like charming as an actress.
Yeah.
Her great chemistry with Barry, and the fact that she's just like a fan of his. It's like so sweet.
Okay, thank you so much for bringing up that point. I think that is the most important point. Do we remember last season everybody who wanted Barry and Iris to get together immediately? But Iris wasn't a fan of Barry's at the time. She was a fan of the Flash's. She was like losing it for the Flash. What I love, and that doesn't mean I don't think that Iris and Barry eventually should be together, because I do. I think that they could be great together. But right now, what I love about Patty is the fact that she's a fan of Barry's. She's a fan of his work. She's a fan of the stuff that he does as him. That's so cool.
That is.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Not just superhero Barry, Barry.
That's an amazing point.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm really interested in their friendship, relationship, whatever it might be.
And Linda Park is still supposed to come back this season, right?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of girls.
Yeah, but I don't think
Not
that
enough.
Barry
It's
kind
a
of
lot
closed
of
the
girls
door
for
on
Barry.
that one. He kind of was like,
Yeah, but he's different now. Now he's a little darker. His taste might change. You never know. She might come through.
his might, but she
all
was
about- yeah,
pissed. Yeah, because he chose Iris.
pretty much.
I think too with Patty Spivot that they toned down her pretty for the role. So you know that there's gonna be that scene where she like puts on a dress, she'll put her hair down, you're gonna be like, Diana Patty
Yeah.
Spivot.
Yeah, 100%. She's gonna have the she's all that or what is
Absolutely.
that? What's that movie?
She's all that.
Yeah, she's all that.
Yeah, she's gonna have that. But you're right. She's one of the most gorgeous people of all time. And in this, she's got her hair pulled back. She's in the uniform, but like when she puts on that little dress at whatever gala they go to,
Yeah.
Whatever gala. There's gonna be a random gala, and we're all gonna go. Like, yeah.
The cops ball.
do you think there won't be a gala?
No, there's always a gala.
Definitely a gala.
Absolutely. Speaking of Iris, I feel like maybe the writers don't know what to do with her. Just in the sense that there's so many characters that we love, and the Cisco and the Caitlins, and there's just so many characters in general, and we know that he's going to end up with Iris, so we can't ignore her. But also, like, she doesn't have that much to do yet.
Yeah.
And I feel like they gave her that really nice scene this week with Barry where she's like the supportive figure, and she really did a great job at it.
She is. She's Barry's support right now, but
Yeah.
I want to see her use her journalist skills.
I know. And then also, like, she's not at work ever. She's just the lab. Like, I needed to see her be like, I gotta go, I got a deadline. But I feel like they gave her that really nice scene today because they were like, oh, we gotta give her something.
Well, yeah. I mean, everything that she was going through last season, she's kind of solved. Like, she had a boyfriend and she didn't know who Barry was. She didn't know who the Flash was.
Yeah.
Boyfriend's dead. She knows Barry's the Flash. I mean, that's I don't know what else they're gonna do with her at the moment.
And unfortunately, she joined the Scooby Gang, which I think is a great move on their part. But it's Victor Garber, who's a brilliant scientist. It's Cisco, who's brilliant. It's Caitlin, brilliant. And it's Iris, who like is very smart.
Yeah.
But not brilliant.
Right. Well,
she's
not a
smarter than Joe.
scientist, Yeah. Well, that's true.
I think
Smarter
she's
than Joe.
I think she's brilliant in her own right, but I don't think that the team is allowing her to be the kind of brilliant she is at this moment, because she can be the liaison between the team and the world, but they're not letting her right now.
I think she needs to use. Sorry, I think she needs to use her detective skills as a journalist to help them like solve stuff as well. In that sense, what were you gonna say?
Well, I think that she'll have that opportunity. Now that we know that there are all these breaches throughout the city and everywhere around the world, essentially, she can be their person on the ground, being like, hey, something weird is happening in this area. It might be someone from a different dimension, or something weird is happening. It might be something worth looking into. So she would be a great person to be on the streets and getting that information.
We need Iris to hit the streets.
Oh yeah.
And I say this too because I like love Candace Patton. I think she's awesome.
Yeah.
So I like want to see her like having like stuff to do.
Well, like Ryan Whittleson just said, her mother did just show up.
Yeah.
So
That's a whole nother storyline.
She's gonna have a lot to do now.
Mama West in the house. We actually know like nothing about her, right?
No.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that she wasn't there when they grew up.
Yeah, that she's been a little absentee, but now we know something, which is that she's been trying to get in touch with Joe and that he hasn't returned the phone calls.
So that's probably gonna lead to some drama between Iris and Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was a big ending. We saw Victor Garber, Professor Stein dropped to the floor, Mama West showed up, and then we actually saw the first clips of Earth 2. Or what we can only assume is Earth 2. They didn't label it for us.
Yeah, I thought. Well, no, I think it is Earth 2 because didn't you notice how
It has to be.
it didn't explode, right? The
particle accelerator.
Yeah.
Well, it absolutely could be Earth 3 or another,
Any
you know.
Earth, yeah.
Right.
But it had like
But
a
I think it's Earth 2
very
also.
futuristic look. And then we see that Harrison Wells is alive in this timeline. Harrison Wells as Harrison Wells, we assume.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, he can't be. It's not Eddie as Harrison and
Wells
that.
Prime, guys.
Wells Prime. That's good.
I'm wondering the whole time, like, how are they going to bring back this actor? And so I'm like, oh, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Just because I would have been a little weirded out, to be honest, if he came back as actual Harrison Wells.
Because
We
his
saw
body
get dumped.
He melted and did all of that.
But didn't with Earbud, sorry, not to just harp on Earbud Thawne from season 1, but if Earbud Thawne never existed now, Harrison Wells, that never happened, right?
Right.
So he never died.
I mean, yes, there's that paradox. However, I think that since
He did
Eddie
because
is-
he did.
Right. Since Eddie is still dead, like, I think that the timeline itself is essentially maintained. It's just that the Thawne line was cut from it.
Because if we're going with what you just said, then the Flash never would have become the Flash because he never would have come back and he never would have been pushed and Barry would still be him and then the particle accelerator wouldn't have happened. So we know all of those things still did happen. So
And I think
you just
they're
have to
letting it
accept that.
slide because we watched an entire season of a show and we loved it, and they didn't want to say, "JK, none of that happened."
Yeah,
Like they
none of
did.
that happened.
Well, they did that for one episode of the first season.
Yeah.
We had an entire episode and then it was like, LOL. Just
And
JK,
I still
JK.
kept forgetting, like, did they kiss in real life or in the Flash? Like, I
Right.
can't give it straight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The episode that actually didn't happen, wasn't that with the weather wizard?
With Martin.
Yeah.
Martin, right?
Yeah.
And he's the one who killed Patty Spivot's
Father.
father?
Yeah. Correct.
Martin's the one who killed Patty Spivot's father. Jesus.
Further.
How do you say?
Sorry.
Martyr killed Patty Spivot's father.
Yes.
I don't remember which of the brothers killed him. One of the Martin brothers.
Marin. Mark
Maron.
Martin.
Maron.
It was
Isn't
Mark
alive.
Martin. Mark Martin. Jeez. But I don't remember if that was the day that got erased.
Yeah.
I don't think it wasn't on that day. I think it was just like it was before they got their powers. So it was
Okay.
before we even met
Yeah.
them.
All right.
So they like did a bad thing and then were rewarded for it in her eyes.
All right.
And that was a great speech.
Yeah, it was great.
And, yeah.
She killed it.
Can I ask? Do you guys think that it was right for Joe to let her onto the squad? Because it sounds like she has a vendetta now, and that doesn't make for a good police work.
I think real world, real talk.
Yeah.
No. But TV show, Joe also has a vendetta. Yeah.
Fair
Well,
enough.
yeah. That's what I was going to go with. I mean, Joe, he works with Barry. Barry's the Flash. I mean, I think all lines are blurred now, so she wants to fight metahumans. Let her on. And she's good and she's smart.
She's going to fight emotionally.
I think because it's one single metahuman, like, it's okay. It's not like Professor Zoom. It's not like the big bad. It's just like one little bad.
Who's one little bad?
Patty Spivot. That she like wants to hunt metahumans because they could help find Martin. Martin.
Well, I'm assuming that she's going to help take down a lot of metahumans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like to the thinking that like is she wrong to join this because she has a vendetta? Her vendetta is only against one.
Right, and
Not
she
all.
seems to not hate metahumans in general. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like we heard her say, even the Flash, I hate him.
Yeah, that's
you know?
true.
Right.
That's true.
So maybe she'll be okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, guys, should we do some news and gossip?
Well, I wanted to talk about
What do you
Zoom.
wanna talk
I
about?
wanted to talk about Zoom.
What do you want to talk about?
Coming in the fact that in the Arrow scene, just quickly from Arrow when Flash went over.
yes.
Please, yeah, tell us.
Yeah, so this is kind of news and gossip because it's news.
Hey, AfterBuzz TV News.
So Tauri can talk about this too, but on Arrow this week, we talked about last week how there was that Instagram photo of Barry and Oliver in the suits that looked like they were at a funeral. And we find out this week that they are, in fact, not at a funeral, but at a gravesite. Right. Barry missed the funeral. It's just the two of them. He comes over and he says, "I'm sorry I missed the funeral." And it's obviously an Oliver team. Somebody on side Oliver died. Oliver is so upset, and he turns to Barry and he said, because Barry was late, and he said Zoom, and Barry said Zoom. So we know that Barry was doing something with Zoom, comes late, still don't know who died, but somebody did. And that's all we know.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did that sum it up?
No, that was perfect. There was nothing I could have even added because it was amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. What did you do you think it's Oliver's people too, or any thoughts on?
Because if it was someone on the Flash side, he definitely wouldn't have missed the funeral. I think I heard someone say that even the producers don't necessarily know who is dead yet. So it could be anyone at this point. But I definitely think it was because it was very much an Oliver moment. But to me, the reference of Zoom could have meant either, he's still sending goons, or it's himself,
right?
Like Zoom himself. So it's,
what was the timeline? It said how many months? 2 months later.
It was either 2 or 6.
6, yeah. It was a few months later, so we'll be seeing that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's a few months down the line. Zoom something.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that Zoom will be affecting the Arrow storyline.
Yeah.
I guess we can always expect more crossovers.
Yeah, well, they have an upcoming crossover, right? Episode 8.
I think it's 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love those crossovers.
So good.
Me too.
Wow, cool. Other news and gossip, it was New York Comic-Con last week, which is not as big as San Diego, but
it was pretty huge.
Don't poo-poo on the New York Comic-Con.
It's getting a lot more notoriety now.
Honestly, I can't believe how popular it's getting. Just in an amazing way, wow. But they announced around that same time that Mark Hamill's coming back as a trickster.
Yes.
Nice.
I loved how people took to Twitter after this. Oh my God, everybody was talking about this. Yeah. Mark Hamill is the be-all, end-all, and I'm on that team. Yes.
When he does campy characters and he overdoes it, it's it always comes off so good. He has such an infectious laugh. He's just really good at playing those villains.
And it fits so well in this world too.
Yeah.
But also I was talking about characters being corny earlier. I don't feel like he's campy, but he's not corny. He doesn't make me roll my eyes.
I mean good campy.
No, I agree. Yeah. Just that difference.
Yeah. No, I think there's a certain amount of heart to the he's very passionate about it. He's a very old school stage actor.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I love it. And then Victor Garber married his partner of 16 years this weekend.
Hey.
Yeah, congratulations, dude.
16 years.
Yeah.
I love that.
About time. The guy's name is Rainer Andreessen.
That was on this Earth. We don't know what Victor Garber's doing on other Earths.
And then Grant Gustin was on Seth Meyers' Late Show. Is it Late Show he does? Seth Meyers? The Seth Meyers
Late
Show.
No, Late Show is James Corden. Corbin.
So
one of the
Jimmy's the one after Jimmy Fallon. The one after Jimmy, right?
Yes.
It's NBC's the one after Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yes, there's so many late shows.
He's on a show that happens at night.
Yes.
So the one hosted by Seth Meyers. Wow, we sound so intelligent. Grant was on there teasing just about the multiverse. He didn't say anything, but it just made me think that they're using the words multiverse very clearly, and not Earth 1 and Earth 2. So I'm just wondering, how many Earths are we going to be working with on this season?
That's very true. That's what that means. That means more than one.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
I love reading all the stuff too that the actor playing Jay Garrick's had a lot of press, and they're all using very canned approved speech, you know.
Yeah.
But it's great.
They have to, because this is the kind of stuff where spoilers can really, really ruin.
Yeah.
People get pissed about Flash, Arrow, all the comic book spoilers, just in general.
Yeah. Totally.
I like them to watch what they're saying.
Yeah, I like it too, especially since there's a sense that we already know loosely what to expect from the comic book canon.
Right.
So yeah, there's that. We saw a lot of interesting stuff with Captain Cold and predictions. Let's shift there.
Okay.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Tauri, what do you got buzzing around?
So from the preview, we know that Snart's dad comes in and they start snarting it up.
Colonel Cold.
Yeah.
That was. I don't like that name. That's a little corny.
Come on, it's the next rank up.
Right. Okay, right above Captain.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I think it's going to be a really fun episode. I hope that the theme has mostly to do with this whole like dad thing that they've got going on. Like, because now there's going to be the parental issues between Iris, her mom and her dad. Then there's Snart and his dad. And then we have Barry with his dad issues. So I hope that is the theme of next episode, being this whole like fatherly, like love / like what is a father?
Yeah, it's like a big Maury Povich episode.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That'd be cool. What do you think, Michael? Anything specific?
With them, with the cold.
With the next episode.
Well, I'm just gonna say with my original prediction regarding Ronnie was on another world with Caitlin.
Okay.
I feel good about that one.
That's a great prediction.
I think he's on another world, and I think he's with Caitlin.
Yeah.
I think he's at least on another world.
I mean, they're infinite worlds. It's got to be
He's somewhere.
one.
He's
Different chances.
He's
of
on
different
another
Earth?
world. He's on a different Earth. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Because with the worlds and the earths, they could all
Yeah.
mean different things at this
Yeah.
point. Michael in the chat said that, well, it went away, but I'll try to remember what it is. You go. oh no.
Thank you, Michael. No, I just think that it seems like we're gonna, following the format of last season, they established Grodd as a big villain, and then we didn't hear about him for a while. I think that that's gonna be Zoom's profile too. We're gonna focus on Captain Cole and other people, and just like hinting along with Zoom, but we're not gonna see him like face to face for a while. I believe.
Yeah.
I want more Grodd, by the way.
I do too.
I'd like to see some Grodd.
He'll be back.
Oh yeah.
I remembered what Michael in the chat said, that Patty, he thinks, is lying about what happened with her dad and why, and that being the interaction with Martin. So that could be interesting if we think she's good and she actually has ulterior motives that we don't know about. You never know in the show with the twists and turns.
Wow.
Okay.
Ooh, what a spooky place. We gotta end it there.
All right.
Guys, where can everybody find you to continue the discussion in the coming week?
I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me on Twitter at TauriJ. It's TauriJay. You can also find me on the Arrow panel tomorrow at 10 o'clock here on AfterBuzz TV.
Yes, I'm Michael Andrew. You can find me on Twitter at Michael_Drew, Michael EAL. And you can find me on the Gotham panel. Gotham and Quantico, but Gotham mainly for DC stuff. All right.
You guys always spell it out, so maybe I should do that. I'm at Roxy Striar. That's RoxyStriar.
And I tweet from Jeff Masters 1. We'll see you next week, guys. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.